What's up, guys? How's it going? It's been a while, but welcome to another episode on Hack the Box. So let's get started. I'm actually going to go back to the homepage here because I get this message here that says there's a new starting point. And if we go here to the left under Labs and we go to Starting Point, you're going to see that it's actually different. Now they have tiers and they have several boxes per the tier. The last two are VIPs, so we're probably not going to be doing those unless I get the VIP, which maybe I will, maybe I won't. Who knows? But let's get started. Today's box is going to be called Meow. It's supposed to be very easy. It is a Linux machine. And what we're going to be learning here is, one, how to connect via VPN to the machine that we need to attack. We're going to be learning about network, I guess, and about account misconfiguration. Or at least those are the tags, the features for this box. So if you are new, which I'm guessing if you are in Starting Point, you probably are new, and you might not know how to connect to Hack the Box. So to connect, you go to this red button right here, or red lettered button that says connect to HTB. You have multiple options here. We have machines, we have Starting Point, and then we have the release arena. We want to go to the Starting Point here since we are using Starting Point boxes. Now we have to choose between a OpenVPN I guess certificate or a pawn box. A pawn box, if you're familiar with TryHackMe, they allow you to spawn a computer within your browser, usually for a limited amount of time unless you pay money. I believe if you get here on Hack the Box, you get 24 hours in a month. Right now, if we try to use it, we probably get 1 hour or so. So we're not going to use it. I'm going to instead use we're going to be using our own box. I have here Kali Linux installed. And we are going to be using the OpenVPN option. Now, here, we're going to choose VPN access, and since I'm in the United States, we're going to choose United States. If you're in the EU, then you want to choose the EU, or whichever one is closest to you, so that you can get better connection. And then you're going to choose the server, which there's only one. And we are going to leave the defaults down here in protocols. So we're going to be using UDP 1337. And we're going to click download here. We're going to choose OK to save. And then we are going to go ahead and open that right here. We are going to cut that, and we're actually going to go to capture the flag, hack the box, and I guess we're going to paste it right there. Okay. Also going to be creating another folder. call it starting point, and just going to move that in there. And then we're going to have another one, tier 0, and another one, we're going to call it Meow, and we're going to go in there. Well, actually, we're going to go back to starting point, and we are going to open the terminal here, and we are going to use, you can see that that file we just downloaded is right here. It's OpenVPN configuration file that will allow us to connect to the servers that we need to connect to so that we can access their boxes and we can actually hack. So how do you do that? You first need to have OpenVPN installed, which is right here for me. If you don't have that, then you want to install that. If you already have either Parrot OS, Kali Linux, or what's the other one? There's another one, I don't remember which one. But if you have one of those that are pre-made hacking machines, then you already have it. But if you do have something like Debian or something like that, then you do have to install it. We're not going to go over on how to install it here. If you have issues on installing it and you don't know how to do that, leave me a comment below and we can see about actually creating a video on that. So that will be out of the scope. But we pretty much just do sudo openvpn and not that, but we use our file that we have up there. Once you use sudo command, you're gonna have to enter your password, your super user password. And once we do that, we have access. Notice on the bottom it should say initialization sequence completed. If it doesn't say that, then there's an issue. All right, so let's go in here. Let's go into Meow, and we are gonna open another terminal here. Actually, I'm gonna use Terminator for that, and we're just going to, oh, it probably wasn't YouTube, but starting point. Oop. And Meow. All right, so we're here. Let's go back in here, and now you can see that that button that was red, it's now green. And that's it. That's how you connect to it. So now we have this first task completed. So that's cool. Now we have to start the spawn machine. We just click on that green button right there and we start it. Just give it a few seconds. And the cool thing that I like about this is that they're kind of going, at least in this area, I don't know if they changed everything about Hack the Box, but I kind of like it because it now shows you some tasks, kind of like guides you how Try Hack Me guides you for people that don't know how to hack. I think that's pretty valuable when learning. Okay, so we are gonna copy that IP. This is the target IP address. And in here, we are going to make several, well, not directories, but I'm going to use Sublime here, and we're going to create a README file as we usually do. Okay. And, oh, that's pretty big. But anyway, we're going to paste our IP here. Just do that. And we are going to go down the tasks. So these are pretty simple questions. So what does the acronym VM stand for? Comment below if you know the answer. If you don't, you can look at the hint here, and it says described in the setting up section of the write-up. It is the alternative to using the dedicated browser-based Pwnbox service. So if you didn't read this walkthrough, which I didn't, then you wouldn't really know what they're talking about. But what we can do, if you still didn't know what it is, a way to find out is by using Google. So we can just type in VM, and it shows you right here what it is. So let's go back here. And submit that answer. And we have successfully completed that first task. All right, so now for number 2. What tool do we use to interact with the operating system in order to start our VPN connection? So you just saw us do this to start our VPN connection using something. What is this thing called that we just used? If you don't know the answer, go ahead and go to the hint. It says one word. It's also the name of the location in any airport where the passengers transfer between ground transportation and the facilities that allow them to board their flight. Well, it is called the terminal. So let's submit that answer. Number 3. What service do we use to form our VPN connection? So let's read that hint once again. It is an open source VPN service which comes pre-installed on most Linux-based operating systems. So what is the program we just used? And you can also see it here. If you click on here, I think right, it's right here. It's called OpenVPN. All right, so what is the abbreviated name for a tunnel interface in the output of your VPN boot up sequence output? Short for tunnel. The tunnel interface is your connection between the target's network and your own VM. So the abbreviation for that, if you didn't know what that was, you could also use Google. I don't know, but it is TUN, T-U-N. short for tunnel, like they said in the hint. So what tool do we use to test our connection to the target? You can use the hint as well. It's also half of the name of a very popular sport, also known as table tennis. So it rhymes with Pong. It's called ping. And yeah, I mean, what ping allows you to do is it sends a packet to the other computer and it responds back if you have access to it. Did we just close our Terminator window? I think we did. So we could do ping, and we could do the IP here, and you can see what happens. So if, like, this means that it's sending 64 bytes from here, and we're just talking to each other, pretty much. It tells you the time that it took to send that, and that's it. To get out of this, do Control-C. And we transmitted 28 packets. We received 28 packets, so there was 0% packet loss. And if you wanted to, you could also do some other one. You could do google.com, and it's responding back, and you can see their IP right there. If it says 100% packet loss instead of 0%, that means that you don't have connection to that box. Okay, let's move on to the next one. What is the name of the tool we use to scan the target's ports? Short for network mapper, a popular network scanning tool. So the answer here is Nmap. And if you didn't know that, then you could use the information that they already presented to you, like network mapper tool. The first one that pops up is Nmap. So there you go. So task number 7, what service do we identify on port 23 TCP during our scans? So now we have to actually scan. Here comes the fun part now. Now we actually have to do something to get into the box, right? So we are gonna copy this thing, and we're going to be using Nmap. All right. So the scan completed. I haven't used this computer in a while, and I had to do a hasty update. So I don't know if something got messed up, but it says that it's compiled without available NSOC engines. So I guess I have to fix that somehow. This is all this libraries that it's using. So I don't know, I'll figure out later. But essentially, if we just do nmap tech A and then the IP, we are scanning pretty much with this. So it's kind of like the same thing that we were trying to do. And we came up with one host up. So we found one port, and it is port 23 TCP. It is a Telnet Linux version. And there we go. So we found that. We can copy all of this and just paste it in there. And we're just going to call this our nmap scan. And we're going to go back here, and it's asking us what the service is. The service is called Telnet. And if we want to see the hint, it says the service runs on port 23 TCP by default, meaning we can research the port on Google and receive the correct result easily. So we can submit that. And if we want to do what they said, 23 TCP, you can see that there's a guide here, and it says TCP Telnet, and it gives you some details about this port and Telnet. So here it says that Telnet is one of the oldest internet protocols and the most popular program for remote access to a Unix machine. It has numerous security vulnerabilities, and we can go in here and read more about it and probably all of the vulnerabilities that it has as well, which I will not bore you with that. But if you want to read and learn more about the history of Telnet, then you can do so there, and some other cool stuff here. I'm gonna leave that there, but let's continue. So what username ultimately works with the remote management login prompt for the target? Let's figure that out. So we can actually go into the hint. It is popularly known as the administrative account for any Linux-based operating system, residing at the highest level of privilege on any such system. So this should give it away, that and with high level right here. If you don't know, you could go into Google and say high level admin account in Linux or something like that. And you can see that it's right there, root. So you submit that, and now we just have to find the root flag. So we are going to go back here, and now that we have found what we found with scanning the port, we know that they're using Telnet, and this port is open 23. So every machine has something called Telnet installed right there, and we can type help, and it will give you everything, like all the commands that you can use, right? need to be connected first. Yeah, we're not connected. Fine, I'll kill you. So, even in Windows, you still have this thing, and we can see Telnet. I think on Windows nowadays you actually have to use the you have to reinstall it. It's there, but you still have to reinstall it. But in Linux machines, it's there by default. We have it here. So now, how to use it? Does it give us any? It does. So we have to call Telnet and pass in the host name and the port. Well, actually, I think the port is, we don't have to do that since the default is 23. But TAC-L says that we can use a user. So we're going to do TAC-L, and then we're going to do the host. The host is going to be the IP. So we copy that, and we just paste that there, and we are connected. So now we can do ls. Oh, I guess I just have to wait until it prompted me. It was a slow connection, I guess. So it says, welcome to Ubuntu 2004 LTS, blah, 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 blah. Documentation, blah, blah, system information. And it's just a greeting that everybody gets, right? So if we do ls, we see that we have a text file right there. What can we do with this? Well, we can do several things. We can read it and see what's inside. If we do TAC-LA, we can see that so it is access. We are root, and we know that because of this. And if you were still not sure who you are, you just say who am I, who am I, and it tells you root. So if we look at this line right here, it tells us that we have read-write access to this flag file, so we could read it. How do we read a file? Well, there's a couple ways. You can use cat and do flag.txt, and there we go. Or we could do strings if they have it. Oh yeah, strings is not available, so I guess cat would do. There's also what else? Oh yeah, there was more and less, right? So we can do more flag txt and read set, less flag txt and read set as well. All right, so let's copy this. To quit out of there, just Q. Kind of forget about that. So now that we have it, we can just exit out of there, and we can say was able to log in as root using telnet, and we can say telnet TAC-L root and then the IP. Found flag.txt right there. That's it. And now we just need to do HTTP and paste in between the brackets what we just found and submit that flag. Even though it says error, we have successfully pwned this box. So there you have it. I hope. So there you guys have it. I hope this was fun, entertaining, and I hope you guys learned. I know I didn't really go into much detail about each one of these things. If you do want me to go into more detail about what a VM is, what is it used for, what telnet is, what a ping is, or any of that, I can go into more detail in a separate video. But for now, I hope this hope you're able to now pwn Meow, and stay tuned for the next one, which is going to be Fawn. And I'll see you guys then.